Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner and we're going to look at space engineers again. So I was thinking about with this video, I'd like to expand upon my original egg ship and make it, have a little bit more advanced functionality and maybe actually assign it a mission rather than it just being a basic transportation to get me around a little quicker. I'm going to actually maybe think of something, I can do to make it have an actual purpose. So rather than mess with our original egg ship, I'm going to make a copy. And because I'm in creative mode, this is something I can do. And this is what we're going to work with, is a copy of the original egg ship. So this is going to be our egg ship Mark II. So one thing I'd like to start off with right away is I'm not really a big fan of the external reactors. I'm going to leave one on right now just so the ship doesn't lose power. But then I'm also going to work with what we have inside. So we have all this space on the inside of the ship to work with. So I'm starting to think maybe we can put our reactors inside and then use a conveyor system to supply them with. So I'm going to put one reactor underneath this gyroscope. I'm going to put another reactor on the other side facing the other way. And then I'm going to go ahead and get in my conveyor system and I'm going to bring out all of these for now, so that I can, if I put a conveyor here, I have those two reactors linked up. And then I'm trying to think what else we can do here. While we're at it, I'm going to put back on... you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to... One thing I'm kind of curious of is how did the original egg ship fare with just the two reactors. So we're going to move off and just move it around a bit. Okay, so we see that those two reactors were not really enough. I did have, if you look over in the energy, the power usage over on the bottom right, you'll notice that I got an overload. So what that means is it's possible with controlling the ship I can actually overwhelm the power systems. And with a overload, what's going to happen is the ship systems are going to cut out momentarily when you have an overload like that. So it's a good idea to design ships so that they are not going to be overwhelmed like that. So I'm going to need more reactors than just the two. So I'm going to add on, I'm trying to think, we can go ahead and delete this reactor. And one thing that I wanted to do is I really don't like the look of the engines being oriented the way they are. And I have to bring back up my white. I want them there instead. I think that fits with the look a little bit better. And it will also aid the pilot's visibility because you don't have the engines there. So when they're looking around in the cockpit, they can see better. Alright, so what are we going to do with the inside? We only have a few spaces left for our, ship systems. So the question is, how are we going to put more ship systems in here? But also we have to consider being able to pipe out to the outside so that we can supply these reactors. And I'm trying to think how I want to set it up so that I can do that. I think the most efficient thing to do would be, I have to have the piping come out to the side. So It's probably not the most efficient setup. I'm trying to think of a more efficient way to do this, but I think that it's going to be hard to do this without just doing straight up conveyors everywhere. Ideally, you'd want to use more of the pipes rather than just keep using conveyors. So now we have a lot of reactors in here. A lot more than we probably need. So I'm going to go ahead and block off the areas we know aren't going to be needed, and then put back on the engines that were here, because we'll need those. And then for this part here, there's a number of ways we can do this, and I think the best way to do it would be cargo containers. Another way we could do this is with a connector, and then the connector could hook up to other things and we could resupply the ship more quickly. Due to the size and shape of this ship, I don't think that's going to really work for us, purely because, and I will show you in a bit, the connectors are rather sizable pieces. Okay, so we have our cargo containers. So in theory now, because the cargo containers are connected to the rest of the ship by those conveyors, we'll be able to transfer items from those cargo containers into any of those engines. So we have it all set up internally so that we can resupply the ship. Now, just to show you what I mean, that connector and how big it is. So here's our connector. So ideally we would want to put one of these on the outside, because then we could link up with another connector and then easily swap supplies back and forth. But as you can see, the connector is a very sizable piece, and our ship is just too small for something like that. So now that we have our ship systems set up, now we have to think about a mission. Now we could make this a little fighter and give it some Gatling guns. And that would be just as simple as, you know, deleting these blocks and putting these Gatling guns on, or maybe even putting them over here somewhere. You know, deleting this block maybe, and putting Gatling guns on. And then our egg ship would be a fighter. Or we could put a drill on it. And more than likely you're going to want the drill up front. Although we could probably... we'd have to alter the ship quite a bit, because as far as I remember, let me see if I can do that with this. Okay, so now these are points that you can build off of. Alright, let's see what we can do with these drills. So if I do that and that, can I get a drill on if I rotate it? Huh. What about... Sometimes these drills, they can be a little... It's not just the drills, but other pieces, they can be a little finicky, because the block that they mount to is very specific. So, for instance, here, you see how it's pretty much making me mount it like that? Well, that's not really a legal mounting place, so it doesn't really work. You can build around, though, oftentimes, those issues. Yep. So we could have it be a drill ship like this. You know, that's one way we could make the egg, and then this would be the egg blender, or egg beater. That's it, the egg beater. You know what? I like that. I like that. We're going to call this one the egg beater. Rather than the egg ship, it's going to be called the egg beater. I like that a lot. So now we have another ship, and we just used the original egg ship as our prototype, And now we have another ship called the Egg Beater. And, you know, it's really that simple. You just kind of have to work around and, you know, and build the different ship systems and figure out how they need mounted. And there you go. You got yourself a mining ship. Ideally, we'd want to do this differently because the drills actually you can pipe them up as well, and this is probably not the best mining ship. So maybe our next project will be to modify the Egg Beater and get it to be a better mining ship, better functionality mining ship. But for now, I think, you know, this was a good update video, and, you know, gives our egg ship a little bit more, you know, usability, and we can build a number of variants off of our egg ship. And any suggestions you have, I really like the Egg Beater. That just came off the top of my head. Any other suggestions you have for another egg ship? You know, that if you have any interesting other egg names that we can go off of, that'd be great. Let me know in the comments. But in any case, this is Mouse Gunner signing out.